Class is now in session. I'm Professor Hockey, and today we'll be discussing some more Sharks news on this season. For a few months prior to the off-season, the San Jose Sharks have re-signed Radim Simek, who was supposed to be an unrestricted free agent in this off-season, to a 4-year deal worth $8 million, so that is $2 million per year, just about exactly in line with what I expected Simek to get. Now, Simek started off very well in his career. This was last season. He played about 40 games on the year. He was paired with Brent Burns for the majority of them, and he looked very, very good. However, unfortunately, he ended up dealing with an injury late in that season, missed the rest of the year, didn't play in the playoffs, and even missed the start of this season. Once he did return from injury, he was originally placed with Brent Burns, but never really found that same level of play that he had last season, was bumped down to the third pairing, but now with Dillon traded and Carlson injured, Simek has returned back with Brent Burns, and he has been better as of late. So the Sharks have decided to lock him up for these next 4 years, taking up, maybe the last 4 years of where, he's at a decent age, because potentially once this contract is up, a bit of a decline can happen, especially for a player who plays a heavy game like Simek seems to be playing. So at $2 million a year, this has the potential to be an extremely valuable contract for the Sharks. Now, if he doesn't really find that consistent level back and isn't able to fill in as the fourth defenseman in the Sharks' top four with Burns, Vlasic, and Carlson, he could still be a very solid third-pairing defenseman with, let's say, someone like, maybe not Mario Ferraro because they're not the same hand in this, but potentially someone like Ryan Merkley, who could come up to the Sharks as soon as next season. And a $2 million defenseman who plays some solid defense, can be relied on to be a penalty killer potentially, and everything like that, is a bit of a hard hitter as well, which is something that the Sharks can lack at times, especially with the trading of Barclay Goodrow. It's still pretty decent value, that $2 million. And if he does manage to figure things out and he does return to that level that we saw from him last season and is able to play with Brent Burns, it could be an extremely valuable contract for the Sharks, maybe one of the higher value contracts on the Sharks, and maybe even one of the higher value contracts in the league. He is very, very good defensively, and while he doesn't bring much offensively, he doesn't necessarily need to when he's playing with Burns. So it could end up being a very good contract, and honestly, at the moment, I'm excited to see, of course, Simek, one of the Sharks fan favorites around the fandom, and so him returning to the Sharks, a good move by Doug Wilson. We'll see what he does with the rest of the offseason now as one more unrestricted free agent is removed from that plan. Class dismissed.